What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Locked Up 365. If you're new to my channel and you like jail-related content, hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification bell so you can be notified as soon as a video touches down. Alright, today I'm going to be talking about what do you do if somebody calls you out when you're incarcerated. If you get locked up, you're in the slammer, and you're in there playing cards, minding your own business, whatever you're doing, somebody comes up to you and says, me and you, we're going to fight right now. What do you do? And I'm going to tell you. First thing you need to do is run and don't look back. I can't even get it out. Alright, but for real, we are going to get into this. If somebody calls you out, what do you do? I've seen a lot of people in jail. They make excuses, and I've seen sometimes that don't even matter. We're going to get into that a little bit later. So in Kentucky, we have camps. I've talked about this a lot in other videos if y'all want to check out the whole camp scene. But if you get final sentence, you go to a camp. Now, camps offer a lot more than what the actual jail does, so nobody's trying to fight somebody else and get put in the hole or shipped on the other side of the state. So everybody's on their best behavior. Basically, I mean, I did see like a couple quick scuffles, but no like blood and, like bad fights going on. When I was locked up, we'd always say that they were selling wolf tickets. And basically what that meant is that they were just all bark, no bite. And 9 times out of 10 in a camp, you're not going to see no action. I'm not saying that's everywhere, but that's where, when I was incarcerated, where I was at the time, this stuff just didn't go on because people didn't want to lose their contact visits because you can get cash in there, easy access to drugs, tobacco, all kinds of stuff. So they have a lot of perks, I should say. So nobody wants to lose that and go to the hole over fighting somebody. And it's not like in the jail where food and stuff is scarce, like at the camps they feed you better, so people ain't fighting over food and scraps and ramen noodles, and you got cash, so you take a little portion of the jail out when you go to the camp. So the camps are definitely a different story. There ain't really too much going on there, but on the jail side of it, if you get confronted by somebody, what should you do? And that is actually up to you, and it depends on the situation. If the guy's 6'9", 400 pounds, or if he's 6'6", and he's 300 pounds, but he's all muscle, and he's going to rip your neck off, why you going to try to fight that dude? Like, you're going to, you're going to lose. I'm not going to fight him. I'm going to be like, oh, I'm cool, man, But, I mean, if it's not unreasonable, like the guy's not a freak of nature, I'm going to go for it. Either way. But it all depends on you. Depends on the situation, because I've been in there where I've seen people that were really good friends that had like disagreements, and they would bark at each other all day long. Like all day long. And they wouldn't do crap, but nobody looked at them any different because they were friends and they did that crap all the time. They bickered like old ladies. And that's just what happens. But there is certain situations that if you punk down, then you're going to have to punk down to everybody until you eventually stand up for yourself. You get commissary, you're going to get robbed. So a lot of bad things can happen by getting punked down by somebody. 9 times out of 10, it don't end well. But there is occasions that people just let it go. Like I said, if it's a freak of nature, just hit your rack. Just be like, I'm on bed restriction. I'm gonna put myself here. Like, I seen this. I'm gonna go into story mode real quick. I was in this jail that was a 10-man pod, and there was a big dude, big dude. He was like 400, 450, big guy. And he was probably like 6'8", had to be like 6'8". He was huge. Biggest dude I ever seen in my life. Like his freaking rolls were like bigger than my entire body at the time, because of course I came in like 130 pounds wet because I was an addict. But one of his jelly rolls was bigger than my entire body. Like, dude was huge. And I ain't even gonna lie, he basically ran the pod. Like, I was sick and I didn't care anyway, you know, like I would just hit the rack. But as I laid there one day, I watched something unfold that I never thought I'd ever see in my life. Now, the bathroom and the shower was like right next to each other. Now, we would put up a sheet when we went to take a number 2, and you had like the toilet here and the shower was right next to it. So they put the sheet up, it would cover the shower and the toilet area. And we also hung the sheet in the shower in case somebody had to use the bathroom, which typically you didn't do that, but you know, there is emergencies. But this white guy hung up this sheet, and Big E was 6'8", 400-pound black guy, and he was a cool dude. He was in there on Fed charges, but like, you know, he was stressed out. He didn't know what was going on. He just got caught with a gun and everything else. He didn't know what was going on with his case, and he was real big into the news. From 5 to 6, you didn't mess with Big E. You didn't make like a whole lot of racket and stuff. Like, if he couldn't hear, he'd say something to you like, hey, pipe down. You know, I ain't gonna lie, dude ran the cell. He was a big dude though, like huge. He was only in there with me for like a week or 2, and he ended up getting moved out. But within like a week of being in there, this guy came in. He was dope sick, you know, just like I was. And he had to go number 2. And he was pretty comfortable, you know, with his mouth. And he went in, put the sheet up, and Big E told him, don't turn that shower on, man. I'm watching the news. And the guy was like, oh, yeah, okay. He goes in, puts the sheet up, hits the shower, sits down, and the shower shuts off, and the dude gets up and hits the button again to turn the shower back on, because the shower only turns on for a couple minutes and then it shuts off on its own. So Big E literally walks over, rips the sheet down, and smacks this dude right in the face with his big old hand. Like, his hands were like twice the size of mine. Mauled him, looked like a bear. And the guy just sat there with this blank look on his face, like what's going on, man? Like, what's going on? And he said that he didn't hear what he said, which, I mean, I'd probably say the same thing too, you know. Dude tried to act tough, going in like, yeah, thinking Big E ain't gonna do nothing. And he walked in when he was taking a crap and bitch slapped him. So it was like one of the wildest things that I seen when I first got incarcerated. I was like, what kind of place am I at? Like, and then, you know, you get adjusted to stuff like that and it's just normal, which that's bad to say, but there is certain situations that you can't get out of though. And if somebody confronts you and they want you to give them commissary, or they want to fight, you all get in an argument, and they tell you to lace up, whatever, sometimes you can't get out of it. There is no getting out of it. Even you could backpedal all you want, and, you know, oh, I got visits, I got this, I got that. If that person's mad enough, you're going to get beat up either way. It's either you're going to fight back, or you're just going to get your butt whooped and look like a pansy doing it. And more than likely, you're both going to go to the hole if you get caught. So you only got really one option at that point. If they're that mad, that's why I said 9 times out of 10, unless it's a freak of nature, you might as well just go on and get it over with. Because you're going to at least, even if you try and attempt to land a few punches, if you crack a couple chins on your way out, even if you take an ass whooping, at least maybe that dude will respect you at the end of it. But if you just punk down and he's got to come find you in your cell and beat you up in your rack, he's not going to respect you. He's going to take your whole bag on the way out the door. So I have seen a lot of people that would actually, knowing they had no chance, knowing they couldn't fight a lick, go into the bathroom, try their heart out, and literally get respect from the whole pod. I've literally seen that more times than somebody that got beat up in Iraq, you know, like, and more than likely that situation ends badly for both people, because usually they don't want to stop because you doing this, they get madder and they just pound on you more. So that's what it seems. And usually the people, you know, their nose and they got big knots all over them because they ain't trying to fight back. They're laying there doing this in the fetal position, getting beat up. So at least if you're trying, maybe you won't get hit so many times. You know what I mean? Like, and when the guard does their walkthrough, maybe they won't see big knots all over your face. Like I said, the respect level is real. If you have no respect in a pod, you ain't gonna do no good time in there. I can tell you that. You're gonna hate life. You ain't never gonna own a ramen noodle in your life in there. It's crazy how, like, when you're in jail, and if you've been in there, you know what I'm talking about. You can read people very well. Like, just from being in the pod, knowing how people are, you know if you want to mess with that person or not. Or you just know how they are, you know, like, get a bad vibe from them. Jail teaches you how to read people very well. It's crazy, but it's true. Like I said, anybody locked up will verify that. You come out of that freaking place looking at people on the street like in a totally different way. So my advice, if you go to jail and you end up getting called out, it don't matter what it's for. If you pop off, say the wrong thing, or somebody just don't like the way you look, whatever the circumstance, I would say just go for it. That's the only thing you can do, because you might end up in a worse situation if not. So you might as well just show you got a little heart, go in there. More than likely it's only going to last a minute or two, and then you're going to be done. And more than likely nobody else is going to mess with you because they know that you will go in there. If they know you want to go in there, that you don't care, most people are going to leave you alone. That's a fact. That's all I got on this video. If anybody wants to follow me on Instagram, Facebook, or if you want to check out Locked Up 365 merchandise, I'm going to leave the links in the description below. Thanks for watching Locked Up 365.